you go, girl. Um, okay, ladies. Today, let's start how we typically start because we have some other things to talk about today. But let's start. Hi, Wendy. Are you back from Asia? Are you back? Are you back home? I'm in the car driving to
Can
work.
you hear me?
Yes, we can now.
Yes. Hi. Yes, I learned some valuable lessons. You can go on vacation and still lose weight, but when you get back home,
You gained the weight back?
yeah. Yeah, I got back home and yeah, I gained a little bit back. So that's a little frustrating, but I'm not walking 20,000 steps a day like I was.
I'll tell you.
So it's fine. And
Go ahead.
I'm not drinking the water, right? I was walking. I had to drink water, and I've not been drinking water because I got back from vacation and I had 1 week to meet goal and catch up from work, and I didn't do that. So, I know how important walking and drinking your water is just minimally for
Yeah.
weight loss.
Yes, and it's also like something to be said. And I experienced that last summer that I was gone for 3 weeks in Europe, and I didn't go there to sightsee. I went there to party, and I was partying. I was going out every day and drinking. And of course, like I eat mostly healthy. Girls, like I eat high protein, and and the food there's so healthy and so fresh. I was between Spain and Greece, so super, super healthy foods. But I was having my gelato and I was having, tequila shots and sipping wine at 10 a.m. because why not? And I lost weight. And of course, I was working out, but not to the same extent that I do here. But I was very active.
Wow.
Walk a lot, you go do things, and you go up and down some hills, up and down some tables. But and I lost weight. I lost weight. I came back to America, and week one after I came back, trying to diet, trying to work out, trying to do all the things, I gained weight. So I probably lost maybe like 4 pounds when I was there, and I gained like 3 when I was here in week one. So it just things for us to pay attention to. One is, like you said, how important it is movement and hydration, right? That is really important. My job is very, very active. So I'm like, I want to say maybe 60% of the time I'm doing personal training, 40% of the time I'm on the computer, but I still live a very active lifestyle. Like I walk my dog everywhere. I go to the gym at least 5 times a week. And so my natural default is a lot of movement. Most people is not. So it just tends to show you like we drive everywhere, even though like I drive a lot, but I'm still with my clients, knowing that 1 hour that I'm with my personal training clients, I'm helping them pick up weights. I'm going up and down. I reach for things. I assist them. So I'm moving all the time. And it's that thing, you shifting your understanding of I need to exercise from I need to move. You don't need to exercise all the time in order to lose weight, but movement, we can afford to not move. And that goes as little as like I have a standing desk now, I have a walking pad, and because my goal is to do less personal training, more of the online part of my business, so I'm going to be less active, but I'm going to compensate that with just little changes in my habits in order that I can keep moving and I can keep my body functional and I can keep my calorie expenditure as high as possible without having to see 10 clients a day. Um, Hydration also really important. It just makes to understand that our body needs water, need proper hydration just in order to do our basic functions in the system. And also another thing that we need to think of is the quality of food. Let me go up on my desk because we mentioned, and I just feel like standing up. Sadly, the quality of food here in America is really, 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 really bad. As much as we try to eat healthy, it's still not as good as we will find in Asia or in Europe. As a default, of course, you can eat unhealthy anywhere, but as a default, food and most places outside of North America are very unhealthy. Fabiana, you're in Costa Rica, right? So Fabiana has probably much better access to food from and like as a default than we do. Sadly, even like me here in Miami, you'd think that, it's the healthy capital of America now. Still, I notice a severe difference. Like if I'm eating out all the time and if I'm eating home, if I buy the foods and I cook myself, I feel in a certain way. If I'm eating out like two or three times a week, I feel the difference because it's just all the add-ons that they put on food and all the oils, the preservatives, the chemicals. So it's really a big challenge. Not to say that it's impossible, but it's definitely a challenge that we need to go even beyond just paying attention to macros. We need to pay attention to, is this food really healthy for me? Because macros, they are the king as far as like calorie balance, right? As far as we think for losing weight or gaining weight, but you can follow your macros. But still, if you're eating a bunch of, like, let's say, protein bars, you're not going to be satiated because they're not going to be enough for you to just nurture your body. Second, you're putting in your body a bunch of like conservatives and sweeteners and chemicals. That's why, like, getting close to the show, I cut as much as possible protein bars, anything with even artificial sweeteners, because they come at a price. So it's just, that's a good reminder, Wendy. Thank you so much. But I'm really proud of you for facing the challenge while on vacation, while doing all those things that you're doing, still like checking for your steps and trying to do your workouts at hotel rooms and trying to manage your food intake. That was like commendable. And it just proves to show that, when you go on vacation, also, you don't need to, like, because most of us, and I know I did that for so many years, I want to do over. We're gonna keep doing it. Don't worry, my love. Like I had a tendency for sure, and I know most of women do, to like shut off, and men too, but men don't get as affected as we do that fast. It's like, oh, I'm on vacation, I'm gonna shut off my health button, I'm just gonna YOLO. But first, that's not clever. Like, we can't do that. Second, there's no on and off in health. It's graduations, like, is it how you say it? But you can go on levels. Now, of course, you're out and about and you're relaxing. I think food is a big part of like cultural experiences. So definitely go experience, have fun, enjoy, but don't go YOLO because that comes at such a high price, especially like when you're over 35, 40 years old. It's not good. Like when I was in Brazil a couple few weeks ago, I went YOLO for a couple of days when my mom cooked, and they said like today's a YOLO day. It came at a price. It came at a price. Like I was entire Brazil vacation after those YOLO days, like severely bloated. I couldn't barely work out, but I was still going to the gym. And then after that, like, okay, let me pull back and go back to my eat healthy eating, and I'm still enjoying some things here and there, but like the bulk of my nutrition was healthy eating, and I was trying to move as much as possible. So thank you so much, Wendy, for sharing. Who wants to go next? Gina, Fabiana? Gina seems to be making moves right there.
Hey,
Hey, love,
okay, I couldn't find my unmute button. Hi.
finding there.
Um, Gosh, it's been a rough couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, just just life stuff. I had an employee that passed away and very unexpectedly, so it really like threw me, I mean, naturally it threw me off, but I will say that although I disconnected from like for example, from tracking everything,
Mm-hmm.
um, I will say I still kept moving because it's what helps me mentally to deal with it. So that was good. But um, I just, yeah, I'm trying to get back into it, get
Mm-hmm.
my mind set back into it all. Um, I did, I'm proud of myself for continuing to move rather than just like sinking in a hole and
Yeah.
completely disconnecting from everything. Um, so it's what honestly just kept me going. Um, but I did like completely fall off track of tracking my food, which was a brand new thing for me during this challenge.
Uh-huh.
Um, but I think out of it, what I've gotten is, keeping up with certain habits. I still am doing my protein right when I wake up. So that's been a really great habit. Walking after my workout, that's something I never did before, like working out and then going for a walk. So
Mhm.
that's been really great. So yeah, just I'm proud of the new things that I'm learning to keep me healthy, not just fit, but mentally
Yeah.
too, which is really important. Yeah.
That's so good. I mean, first of all, I'm so sorry for your loss. It's like it's never, never as much as one could ever expect. It's never nice, and it's always a challenge. I'll tell you girls this, like even like having my parents here in Miami with me for a while now, and they come every year and they visit. Like I think this time for the first time I've seen aging, in them, and you have this idea for your parents that they're gonna live forever, and sadly they don't. But it's like that first encounter with the briefness of time, and I do train older clients, like back when I used to live in Naples, I used to train a lot of like 80 plus people, 80 plus years old people. And so I had lots of encounters with that, and a lot of like facing how time, does us. And but now when it gets so close, I've been thinking lately, like, oh my gosh, like it's really a thing, because I see my clients that are 50, that are 60. I have clients who are 70, and I do have one client who's he's 80. I want to say 82. So just it makes you think, like, how do I want to go through this process, and to understand that like our time here is not given. Like we think we're gonna live forever too, and our loved ones will, but into reality, it won't. So it's like, how can I make this the best time possible and live the longest, the healthiest possible? And like me even looking at my parents, like I'm trying to make them eat a little bit better, try to make them move better, and thank God they're healthy. But it is really a challenge, and what a blessing it is that we are able to take care of our health, like in this day. And like you said, Gina, is yeah, we all want to look better. I'm a big advocate of that, because I think for us women it's so important that we look in the mirror and like I'm pleased with what I see, and keep always trying to take better care of ourselves, because I think that does something for us as far as self-confidence, as far as like even self-fulfillment. Like I'm happy that I'm taking good care of myself. And I honestly, I think God likes beauty, and God created beautiful things. Like just look at flowers. You're a beast, Wendy. She said she just turned 60. But so yeah, I think we should feel beautiful, but it's so much deeper than that, right? It's like how we feel, how our energy levels, how am
That
I?
might be.
Sorry, Lori.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking to my son. I didn't realize I was
Oh.
unmuted. I apologize.
No, that's fine. So it's everything. So thank you so much, Gina, for sharing. And I'm so happy to hear that like your those habits, they're sticking, because it's little things, but they add up tremendously. And I commend you for doing, and all you girls for doing it, because you're not gonna see the results of those little habits immediately, but they're gonna compound, and you're gonna see them like with time, and you're gonna see like that protein in the morning. I know I did. I started doing this year, honestly, like it because it's a somewhat new research that I learned about it probably around March this year. So I started implementing on myself, because for the nature of my job, I wake up very early, and I leave the house, like I don't have time to sit down and have a full breakfast. So I used to fast like probably until 10, 11 a.m., which then I was hungry and I would eat a protein bar. And my thought was like, I have plenty of muscle. Like I need to cut calories. I don't need to add calories. But I figured, let me try this and see how my body does. And I'll tell you, eating that, for me, I usually do like a cottage cheese with a jam. There's a little from Daisy. I think the brand's called Daisy something. So they come already, and it's like 15 grams of protein, 14 grams of carbs, and probably like 5 or 4 fat. So like this is perfect, and it's delicious. So I eat that first thing in the morning. And I'll tell you this, ladies, I mean, proof's in the pudding, right? I think I looked my absolute best on stage. Like I was able to hold the most amount of muscle. And of course, it's all the things that we do, but I honestly believe that had a huge contribution. like fueling. I have such a hard time with this word. Fueling my body first thing in the morning with good quality protein, and like giving that signal of, hey, you don't need to burn muscle. You can just burn fat from now on until you have a proper meal or proper workout. I think makes a huge difference. The walks after the cardio thing, and I think I explain each habit. I try to explain a little bit on the little caption. I don't know if you girls had a chance to read, or like, I know we got so caught up in the check-ins, we didn't have a chance to go too deep in them. But the walks after the workouts, not only they're going to increase your overall calorie burning or calorie expenditure throughout the day, but after depleting your body with exercise, with muscle, like at strength training, is like I said, you don't have a lot left in your body rather than to burn fat. So that also helps you just like sparing, because it's at a low intensity, sparing your muscle and just targeting body fat, fat as fuel for to supply that movement. And it's a great way to like calm your body down, because you're coming from that stress of strength training, which is sends like catabolism signals to your body, meaning break down tissue, or it's time to destroy. And after you're done working out, if you don't shift that signal to your brain, like, okay, now it's time to restore and repair, you're going to still keep destroying, but that's not necessarily coming from fat. So it's important to have that transition between workout, a little bit of cardio, but you're cooling yourself down, after like 10-15 minute walks that you can do, even if it's a longer cardio, like a 30-40 minute. By the end, you're like, your body understands, we're done, we can start the recovery process now. So I'm really happy with that feedback, Gina. And like all those habits, especially the ones we did last week, from like tracking your weight, staring at yourself in the mirror. And I know how much those are important, because I woke up this morning, I just got my period this morning, and I've been a poopy pants last week, and I ate all the things. It's the last week of my mom here, so we did a big Brazilian dessert yesterday. And I'm gonna eat because I love this dessert, and I promised a few of my Brazilian clients too. So I ate and I feel like crap. And I woke up this morning and like, I'm not gonna weigh myself today because I'm huge. And I don't want to even look at myself in the mirror because I feel bloated. And I gave myself one day of excuse because I just got my period. And I was like, that shock between happiness and sad. Yay, my body's healthy. Sad, like, damn, I need to do this again every month. Damn it. But it never gets old. But tomorrow I'm gonna do it regardless, because it's so important for you to first understand, be kind to yourself. I don't care what the scale says. It's like understanding that your body's always like working on your benefit. Um, or think it is, at least. And sometimes we need to like change some things here and there, tweak some things here and there, but just sending that signal of kindness to your body, of self-love, and understanding that the number on the scale is just data, and it's just helping us understand what's happening and helping us walk towards where we want to walk. Fabiana, you're on.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Wow. I was just looking at my stats. In just about 3 weeks, really, I've I've recomposed my body in such an incredible way. I am so hopeful that I now my most concerns were body fat and visceral fat, and those both have come down. Initially I had lost some muscle, but now I'm gaining it back.
Mm-hmm.
So I am so grateful for you. I will say thank you so much for your guidance, for your mentorship. I'm tracking my meals now. I feel okay tracking, it doesn't stress me anymore. I'm just doing the best I can. And I'm doing exercise and balancing things out, and just to see the progress on the scale in terms of the metrics that matter, because my body weight initially came down, then it went further down when I did my 3-day fat, my 40 hour fast. Then it got back up again. But what has been going down constantly has been the body fat. Constantly. It's been decreasing constantly, which shows me that my body's getting it. It's getting the message. It's like, okay, it's time to start getting rid of the stuff that shouldn't be there. And so thank you so much. I'm so grateful. I guess my question at this point then is like, okay, after this time, I know I can burn fat. the question is, how do I then continue losing weight? Because I still have about 20 pounds to lose. How do I continue losing weight while continuing to burn fat and not sacrificing the muscle in the process? So I guess, what else? Is there something else, or is just like keep going, more of the same, more of the same? Like, do you have any additional thoughts for when it comes to weight loss per se?
Absolutely. And thank you for sharing, Fabiana. Thank you for sharing your stats on the group. Like that, it really helps us. I noticed how all you ladies like loved when I shared last week about Fabienne, your almost your name sister. And it really helps us seeing things like that because we know like, oh, it's possible. And I try to be very transparent with my own journey because I want you ladies to understand like I'm just like y'all. Y'all, I'm speaking Southern English now. It's just I take it to another level because of my competition or my years of dedication, but there's no difference. But I want you to see all of you how much it's possible because it's just understanding how your body works and being diligent with work and just going through the first time that the body's going to resist because most likely when you first start dieting your body's not going to give in. I was just talking to one of the participants of the challenge that she's not participant here, but I know her personally and I see her very often. And she's like, I'm about to quit. I'm like, don't quit. Like your body went through, she's young. She's like in her early 30s. You've never dieted before. Your body's not going to give in to body fat within the first 2 weeks. Like you need to keep pushing. That's why most people are not successful in weight loss journeys because they quit on week 2 or 3. Most of them quit on week 1 after not seeing results, but the body takes some time. So I commend you all for keep doing that. And Fabiana, the thing is, which you girls already know, the less you have to lose, the harder it is to lose it. Those first 10 pounds, once your body understands what's happening, it can drop 10 pounds like, it's nobody's business. But the last 5 pounds, the last 2 pounds, that comes at a price, at a sacrifice. So first is that having that understanding, like the more you lose, the rate with which you lose the next pounds it's gonna be a little bit lower. And that's just a natural tendency, physiological tendency of the body. If you have a lot to dispose, it's gonna be fast. If you don't have a lot to dispose, the body's gonna hold on to that last drops of body fat, just because, excuse me, the body holds fat as an energy deposit. It's exactly, excuse me, what it is. It's like you have those energy deposits in your body and it doesn't want to let it go because it's physiologically it's important for the body to hold on to that for emergency purposes. We know now the chances of our facing an emergency that we are depleted of food are very, very remote. The brain doesn't know that. So it just has that as that safeguard against anything. So understanding that that's normal, it helps us to feel like, oh, I'm not failing or I'm not half-assing. No, it's just the normal tendency of the body. So there's that. Second thing is when you are already being successful in a journey, which is the whole thing that I do with my competitions. I start maybe having 15 pounds to lose. First 5 came easy, the second 5 came a little bit harder. The last 5 is the real struggle, is understanding the pace with which you need to increase your energy expenditure and decrease your calorie intake. Because we are capped at a certain time of the day. Like we all have the same 24 hours and there's only so much we can restrict in calories. So the smart thing to do when you're working with these two fronts is every week, or I would say even maybe every time you plateau, you would do an analysis. Okay, how many calories am I eating? How much am I exercising? And the ideal way of doing it that I've seen that works the most, and it's the last detrimental to the body, easier to implement, is like you increase a little bit your energy expenditure and you decrease a little bit your calorie intake. So you pull on both fronts so it's not too harsh. Because if you're already eating 1,500 calories and that's already low, you don't want to drop to 1,300 calories. But if you increase your calorie expenditure for like 100, 150 calories per day, and you decrease your calorie intake by another 100, so you eat 1,400, the gap is a little bit bigger. Like you have those same like 200, 250 calories of like extra gap, so your body can continue to lose fat. Because whenever you are reaching a certain, let me just take this blurry off here because I'm very hand gesture and sometimes it miss my hands. Whenever you are, there you go, you are, chasing a certain goal, and we talked about basal metabolic rate, which is like the how many calories your body needs to just survive. Your body is always chasing your calorie intake. So let's say you start at 1800 calories and your basal metabolic rate is 200. Your basal metabolic rate is going to drop until it meets your calorie intake, which at that time you have to drop a little bit, and you can see where that's going. There's only so much you can drop. I don't want you have to eventually, if you follow that journey, you have to fast all days to keep losing weight. So we don't want to do that. So the slower you can keep that decrease, the better, because we don't want to drop your metabolism that low. That's why we work that with increases of calorie expenditure. But once again, you can do this forever, right? What I would say, Fabiana, is until you reach your goal, probably the smartest way of doing it is the healthiest way of doing that is timing diet breaks in between. So let's say you plan for 4 weeks of a calorie deficit, and 1 week you go back to your maintenance calories. It's proven to show that if you do that, your your fat loss is going to be the same in a macro plan. So like this, if we talk about a 16-week period of fat loss, if you implement those diet breaks every 4 weeks, you're going to lose the same amount of fat loss. But what you do is you preserve your metabolism a lot more. You're not going to keep constantly like decreasing calories. You're not going to be constantly like putting your metabolism to be playing catch up. And also, you also get a break. So what would that look like? Let's say you're going to start now today a 4-week calorie calorie deficit phase. So let's just put numbers. You're eating 1500 calories and you lose about 1 pound per week. So you're going to lose, at the end of this 4 weeks, you lost 4 pounds. Ideally, if you're thinking about doing this a long term, the 5th week you go back to your maintenance calories, and then you at the time, so when you're at the end of this 4 weeks, you need to calculate what would be my maintenance calories now. So you do that whole, like that link that I sent you girls, discover your basal metabolic rate, multiply by the activity factor. So let's say it's going to give you, or you should be eating now to just maintain your calories, 2000 calories. So you go back to 2000. On that week, you eat at 2000 calories. I know how scary that sounds. I know. I know everybody's like, no, I'm going to gain weight. You will probably gain 1 pound. But what you're going to do is you're going to give your body a break to like, and breathe and not keep fighting it, because the way you need to think about it is like, it's almost like when you're sneaking out on something, you're trying to sneak out on your brain. You're like, you can't go and like just punch your brain, like, drop the fat, give me this. You need to like, hey, little brain, can I get this 1 little pound of fat? Thank you. This way the brain is not gonna fight you back. So that's how you need to think. So maybe 4 weeks of diet, 1 week of diet break. After that, you calculate your calorie deficit again, and then you go back to that. That is the safest way of losing weight. Keep losing weight. And of course, like the slower you can lose weight, the better it is for your body, because once again, like I told you, your body's not going to fight back. It's not going to think that that's just a temporary thing. It's going to adapt in a way that understands, oh, this is my new setting point. Instead of your setting point being 150 pounds, your new setting point is going to be, oh, I can sit still at 130 pounds, and this is my new normal. That's what you're trying to convince your brain of. So that's one thing. Second thing that really, really helps you do that is focus on strength training, because the more muscle you can build, the natural like spike in calorie burn you're gonna get. So you just think of like not just necessarily increasing movement, but increasing your muscle mass. The more muscles you have, naturally your basal metabolic rate is gonna be higher. So it's gonna be a natural booster. That's the one reason why I have such a huge advantage of weight loss, is because I carry a lot of muscle. So if I do a little bit of a deficit, if I cut my calories a little bit and I just focus on moving more, my body's like, boom. But because I've been pruning my body for that for many years, so it understands like in order to sustain all that muscle, and trust me, I'm trying to cut a little bit of muscle now because I think maybe a little too much on my lower body, like my legs are a little too big now. I don't know. I don't know if there's such a thing. I'm still trying to understand. But it's hard because on my body's like, no, hold the muscle. So focus on that. Like the more, and by that I mean strength training. Those things we talked about, like I think around week number 2, like how to slow down your training, really like focus on hypertrophy training. You should be moving not to burn calories, you should be moving to build muscle. When you're strength training, rather than strength training, do you hear my dog snoring? What a life. When you're not on strength training, I want you to move. Go up and down the stairs, walk the dogs, play with the kids, throw a ball, go swim, whatever. When you're strength training, I don't want to see a lot of move. It's like concentrated. You're doing the squats, like slow down, feel the muscles contract. It's like your goal is to rip those muscle fibers apart as much as possible so they can rebuild stronger and bigger. So the more you can concentrate on that, the better. I would say those 2 things are actually 3 things. First off is like whenever you get a plateau, increase activity, decrease calorie deficit. Second thing is implement diet breaks, maybe not every 4 weeks, but every couple of months. There's some people that do every 3 months. So basically every time you hit a plateau, like a big plateau that you did the step number 1 is still not working, maybe your body's telling you, I need a break. So take a week off, not like that you're gonna go YOLO. You're still gonna track your macros. You're still gonna eat high protein. You're still gonna train super hard. It's just like you're increasing your calorie a little bit in order for your body to like get a break on your metabolism and like understand like I'm not fighting against you. I just want to make peace with you. Let me go drop some body fat. I'll give you some more calories. You give me that body fat. And the third thing is really focus on strength training. Build muscle. That should be like your top 1 priority because the more muscles you build, the more your body's going to get rid of body fat. That's my case. Did I answer your question? Is that kind of like what you wanted to?
Helpful. I appreciate that. So just to clarify, when I do that diet break, I just increase the macros and the calories to what? How would I decide what is my, like, do I have to put maintenance in that chart calculator that you gave us, or how would I decide what should be the normal calc?
So remember when let me show it right here because it's easier. I'm a very visual learner. I think most of us are today with this day and age of internet. Can you go see my
Because
screen?
right now I'm eating around 1,300 calories a day.
Okay. Do you go see my screen? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Is anybody desktop as messy as mine? I need to fix that. Okay. So can you see the website that I sent you, the basal metabolic rate, that BMI calculator? Yeah, some thumbs up. Gina, can you say perfect? Thank you. So, and you can use any calculator, honestly. Like you can go Google like BMR calculator, like macro calculator. Most of them will give you somewhat the same results. So like you don't need to be, it's just, I like this one. It's simple. It's the one I've always used. So what you're going to do here, my love, is going to put like, okay, this is for me. See, it already knows even my dad. So I put like my height, my weight, and then you're going to put your new weight. So let's say you lost 5 pounds since you last calculated your BMR. You're going to put your current weight here, age, gender, calculate BMR. Basal metabolic rate is what I should be eating if I didn't move at all. It's just what your body needs to survive if you're laying flat on a bed 24 hours a day. We don't live like that. Thank God we move. So when you come down here to total daily calorie needs, is total daily energy expenditure, the TDEE. That's what your body needs in a normal life, with movement, with activity, with normal life. And that's where that multiplication factor that I told you, if you're sedentary, lightly active, moderately active, I recommend usually you choosing moderately active. I think that's what most of us fit in. If you think you're not, then go for lightly active. Most of us are never going to fit into this. And trust me, I train a lot and I still don't. even though I do that. But it's just because of the nature of like our diets and how we are. I would eat a bit, choose between lightly active or moderately active. So what I would do if I was calculating for me, I would choose lightly active, and this is what I need to be doing. So I would go from, because remember, actually, sorry, let me reverse that. In order to calculate our deficit, we take that number, right? And then we do minus around 500 calories. Remember that? And then we start like and then from that number, which would be around, so would be 1396 for me. I would allocate calories for macros, for carbs, and for fat. On a diet break, I want you, because this is your maintenance. This is your maintenance level to maintain your body weight. On a diet break week, this is how many calories you should be eating. You don't need to take those minus 500 calories in order to find your calorie deficit. So from this number right here, you would allocate, okay, from this 1896 calories, how many calories of that are going to go to protein, and then split the remaining between carbs and fat. So if I took this, I would probably be eating like around 145 grams of protein, because that's my ideal body weight, and then allocate the rest of calories towards carbs and fat. Got it?
Super helpful. Yeah. I'm gonna rewatch this and make sure I can follow along with my own metrics. But that's basically, I mean, it's good to know how to make these calculations no matter what, to know what we should be eating in each
It's really good, yeah.
phase. So, and so for now, while I'm trying to lose weight, would I just be in a fat loss program? Would I say put like like losing weight? How would I tell it, like, this is what I'm wanting to lose, like 20 pounds, for example, and then it'll tell me, because that's how you calculated what you gave me, right? When you told me, here's how much you need to have macros. You
Yes.
knew I wanted to
Your
20 pounds.
Yeah, your calorie intake calculation should not necessarily be determined by how many pounds you want to lose. That's not necessarily how it works, because somebody who wants to lose more weight doesn't mean they need to eat less. It just means they are gonna need to diet for longer. That is the healthy way of doing it. That's where most people they miss it, because they think, oh, I have 50 pounds to lose. I'm just going to starve myself. So I'm going to eat 1,000 calories a day. Well, that doesn't last long. So you're probably going to lose the first 10 pounds and you're going to gain 15 back, because your body's going to fight back. See, Wendy's laughing like,
Nice.
I know, yeah, because we've all been there. Me too. So the thing is, like, you just need to diet longer. The healthy way of doing it is the slower you can lose fat, the better it is, because your body is not going to fight back. The brain is only think about your survival. It doesn't think about your genes. So your brain wants you to survive. And if you're losing fat too fast, your brain is going to trigger something in your brain. Like, what's happening? Send help. Hold on to weight. She's losing too fast. Something's happening. Hold on to body fat. Hold on to water. Send cortisol up. That's what we don't want. The brain, think of the brain as like that. When you're in school, if you're a naughty girl like me, you're always like going around like the rules and trying to do sneaky things that you shouldn't be doing. That's how you need to lose fat. It's like, I'm going to go here. Nobody's going to see me. Instead of like just like kicking the door, like I'm the bad bitch here. I'm going to do whatever I want. We can't do that with the brain, because the brain's going to like, let me show you who's the boss, who's the boss. And like, you just need to go sneaky around the brain and lose fat a little bit slower in order to lose forever. So the calorie intake that I gave you is not based on how many pounds you want to lose, but based on where you are today. And of course, the heavier you are, the higher your basal metabolic rate is, just because it's based out of your current weight. And you just remove like some calories from that. You put yourself on a calorie deficit, and you keep following that. And ideally, you adjust a little bit your macros every time you plateau. So maybe you lost weight with that same macros for 3 weeks, and on the 4th week you stalled, you plateaued. Wait a little bit, check for the 5th week, and if you still haven't lost weight, then it's time to do a new adjustment in your macros. But yeah, you should be constantly like checking your body, see like, am I losing weight? Do I need to take a break? And a lot of times, like when I talked to us like, Wendy, I've coached Wendy one-on-one a few years ago, and she probably heard me saying a lot like, wait, give your body some time, because the body has its own time response. We can push, we can like try to manipulate that a little bit, and manipulate is such a bad word. Try to influence that a little bit, but eventually the body has its own time. If the body says no, it's no. And we just need to wait. And that's me, because I am so cautious with my health, and with any of the girls who work with me, my health. Like, I don't want you to lose 10 pounds super fast, and that come, at a price on your health. Unless like you're coaching for a show or something like that is extreme, and then I'm gonna tell, okay, this is gonna come at a cost for your health. It's a temporary cost. It's not gonna be bad for you or anything, but just know it's gonna hurt your metabolism for a while. But then we can rebuild it, and that's okay. But rule of thumb is, I respect the body and the body's timing, because I'm thinking about your health, your hormones. I'm thinking about your body a year from now, not just next month. So that's how I approach fat loss, and needs to be sustainable. And those little habits that we implemented, all those are going to help build your metabolism and prune you to keep losing fat and building muscle in a way that by next summer you're going to look your absolute best no matter what, rather than just like looking good for the weekend, and then by Christmas you're like four steps behind. Okay. Wendy, you have the workouts from the app we could print for reference, or are you doing another challenge? I want to keep going. I can absolutely get those workouts and do a PDF for you girls. Okay, no problem. Let me write this down. But we are going to continue with the program. I know you want to hear about that. I just wanted to do a little catch up before. Fabiana, did I answer your question? Do you have anything else you want to say about that?
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much, Amanda. That's my question I had right now, because I feel like I've gotten such incredible progress in just 3 weeks, but at the same time, my weight is not, it's stalling there. So it's like, okay, what's the next level then, right? There's always a next level of something I have to do next.
Yeah.
So
Rule of
that
thumb.
answered.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that was.
Rule of thumb is, don't play with your calories. If your body's still losing fat, just stay there. Keep doing what you're doing until the body stops responding, because ideally you want to lose the most amount of weight with the highest calorie intake. I don't want to cut you down to 1,200 calories if I don't need to. If your body would still be losing fat at 1,300 calories. Makes sense? So it's ideally, if you're sitting at 1,300 and you're losing weight, keep at it. Keep exploring that. Because their body's like understanding, like, oh, I'm still in that. I'm still chasing that gap between what I need right now and what she's giving me. So the body's gonna keep chasing that until it reaches. And until it reaches, and sometimes that takes a week, sometimes that takes a month, and then you're still losing fat. And the longer you can go on that, the better it is. Lori, you came right on time. Do you have anything to share, my love? Or can you? I don't know. I know you're always like the kids around.
Yeah, yeah, this is always drop off time in the morning. Yeah, I think it's been so good to just see um those habits and how, okay, this is what really works for my body. And even just a little bit of shift. I think I just had like a mental block around like 1,500 calories sounds low, but I can do that just fine. And I think for me, just with kids and busy season of life, it's just getting the systems in place so that I can be consistent with all those habits because they work. So
They really do. And like you said, it's consistency, and it's time. And that's why most people don't get there, because it is a boring work. It's not sexy at all. As I tell all my girls, especially the ones that I train in person, it's like, you can train sexy or you can train to look sexy. It's different things. Like my workouts, I did some crazy stuff for you girls because I wanted to keep you motivated over the weekends. But if you see the workouts during the week, they are somewhat boring. But that's what give results. That's what build muscles. I wish I could do like all those fun things and like functional training, but this doesn't work for us. Like, in order to build muscle, they might be good for our mental health. So do that. It's just like running. Do non-sexy things to look sexy. Exactly, my love. It's like you need to think about it like when you sleep, we have our whole like routine. I'm gonna start sleeping with those things in my hair. I don't know how to call this. To wake up with my fabulous hair, with the things, the mask. That's what workouts are. You do non-sexy things to look sexy. And it's a boring and tedious work. And that's why you don't see a lot of women there walking around with six packs and nice natural butts or nice natural abs, not to ditch like plastic surgery. I'm 100% not against it. I will do mine eventually if I need to. I actually need to redo it. I digress. So I'm not against that, but it's so hard to have a natural six pack and a natural like nice butt because it's not sexy getting there. Like it takes time, it takes patience, it takes like grinding and grinding and grinding. But that's why it's so amazing when you achieve that because it's like nobody could have given me that except myself. It's like so empowering. Like I get chills. Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels. It does not, my love. It really does not. Sometimes I cook it, but that's so fast. Healthless cookies are very fast. Okay, let's talk about what you girls want to talk about. How do we continue this? Initially, I'll tell you this, I had no plans of doing another program at all because I already have my coaching program. You girls know that I do coaching one-on-one. But I had an epiphany this last few days. I'm turning 40 next month, actually in less than 30 days. It's October 28th, my birthday. And I was planning on doing, I'm going to be 100% transparent with you girls here. Story time, real quick. And I wanted to do this like big ass party, like Brazilian party with my friends and everything, and have like a barbecue, like a pool party, bikini. If you girls want to come, you're all invited. I'm going to send invitations for you. Come to Miami, have a vacation. Um, but then I figured, like you only turn 40 once. Like I really want to do something big. And I've been thinking like it, and I just had like this beautiful mastermind this weekend. I saw Lori. We had a big event here from two of my dearest clients, who are amazing business coaches, Kelly Roach and Cindy Gland. And I do have another event here this weekend from another client of mine, Melissa. You met Melissa, right, Lori? Melissa Hennard. So it's like all these things like giving me so many ideas. I'm like, what if I do a membership? Because I've been wanting to transform my business into a membership based thing, kind of like what we did here, but a little bit different. And I just figured, what, I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna start a membership program that's gonna have kind of like the same style workouts, but it's gonna be different because in here it was just a 4 week. So I did a different somewhat workout every week for us, and I did a little bit of progression because I wanted you to experiment what that felt like, and I wanted to give you as many tools as I could because we had so many different levels of people. Like we had people who never worked out ever, we had people who were experienced lifters. So I wanted to be as diverse as I could. Usually what I do with my clients who I work one-on-one is I have a workout program every 4 weeks. So every 4 weeks is a different workout program. And inside a workout program, you do your own progression. So you start like trying to lift more, you're trying to do a little bit more cardio. So on my membership, it's gonna have the workout program, all the cardio, um, nutrition, but nutrition is going to be a little tricky to like how we did because I love to do personalized nutrition, and that's going to be an option of an upgrade. But you're going to have also like the guidelines and the tricks and the daily habits and like little challenges within the membership. The lives that we're going to talk about, we're not going to be able to do this in depth like check in because it's going to be a lot of women, hopefully, God willing, but we're gonna do like dive deeper into subjects like we talked about, like, and I want to talk about peptides, hormones, cardio, fat loss. So it's gonna be all like that, more the educational things. All the workouts are gonna come with videos. So that's what I'm launching. You know, it's a membership that you're gonna get this whole thing, but at a longer program because what I feel is I'm gonna share what I'm gonna do for my health because I'm getting to this age and era beautiful 4.0, which I'm honestly I've never felt better, and I want to keep doing that. And I'm not oblivious to think it's gonna be easy because I know the body changes, and I've trust me, I've seen my body change tremendously from 35 to 40, and I've been catching up, thank God. And the blessing of like having coaching women who are older than me is like I understand what's happening and I can step ahead and I can like not get caught off guard, because I think that's what happens to most of us. Like we're like living life, and of course we're all like, I think all of you, if not most of you, are dealing with family, with kids, with businesses, with a tight schedule. And we forget about ourselves and we get caught off guard. Like you look in the mirror one day, like, like, what? Where did this come from? Like, and I'm going to be very transparent because it's happening with me with some things that I'm going to share that I think it's very embarrassing, but I know it happens to all of us. I started seeing more gray than I could ever think. So, and this is my hair dyed, okay? So much gray. I started seeing like a gray eyebrow hair. That freaked me out. I was severely upset. And there's some hairs growing up here that I do not like it. Like, where did these motherfuckers came from? So, is so talking about things like that, how to take care of them, how to take care of our body, and honestly how to do this in the best way possible, because I don't accept the fact that, oh no, it's just an aging thing, you need to accept. No, excuse my French, but fuck that. Like, I'm gonna fight gravity until I die, and she will win eventually, but I'm gonna give her the hell of a fight, because we're gonna be lifting. I'm gonna keep getting hotter and hotter, and I want you girls all with me. So that's gonna be my new program. Yeah, I still have my coaching, and I'm gonna keep the clients that I have right now, but I'm not gonna offer that anymore. My one-on-one coaching, I'm gonna also transform into something a little bit deeper, but we're not gonna talk about that. That's for other time, that I'm still working on how I'm gonna transition that. But that's what I'm offering. It's gonna be called, I took notes because this is all brand new. Like, I'm so excited. I'm debating this as I talk to you. It's gonna be called Stronger Than 40. I love that name. Isn't it cool? I thought it was so cool. And so on my birthday, I'm gonna celebrate November 2nd. It's gonna be the official lunch party of the program. So starting today, for 5 weeks, I'm gonna document everything that I'm doing, because I told you it's a promise. I'm gonna get to my birthday looking hotter than ever, even than stage. And I'm gonna document everything that I did, and that's when I'm gonna be the official lunch, and it's gonna be open for people to sign up. But you girls, I thought about like starting that there, but I don't want to leave you girls hanging for a month. So I figured, no, let me do a soft opening for them, and that's only for you girls who participated on the challenge. And I need you to be patient with me, because you're going to discover this implementation with me. I don't know if we're going to use the same system that we use now, the same app, Trainerize. Probably for this first month, yes. For the official launch, I don't know how that works with membership base, but don't worry about it. Just give me grace and then, like, please give me all the feedback. Those of you who decide to join us, give me the feedback you want. But this is going to be something good. And wait, let me see. I have some numbers here for you. I have some numbers. Where are my numbers? And let me open my tab here. 1 second. So that's it. And I'm so excited. And if you choose to do that, it's going to be a much like in-depth thing. Because like I said, on the challenge, I try to be as democratic as I could, because there's people from all places and all walks of life. On the program, on the Stronger Than 40, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive, is not the word, but emphatic with what needs to be done. Here, I try to be as understanding as possible. Like, if you only have a dumbbell, work with the dumbbell. Like, if you only have bench, you'll have bench. On a Stronger Than 40, I'm going to say, this is what we need to do. And I'm going to expect you to do it. And I'm going to hope you do it, because that's what needs to be done in order to have results. I cannot fool you and tell you, like, you're 45 and you have 50 pounds to lose. You're going to lose those 50 pounds with just a walk and 5-pound dumbbells. It's not going to happen. So I'm going to push you to, like, this is what needs to be done. So all the workouts are going to be gym based, that can be adapted. I'm still thinking if I could do that with a home gym, with minimal equipment. Most likely I can. I just need to understand how that's going to be displayed on the membership app, because most of us today, we have home gyms. And honestly, like, the vast majority of the workouts that I do are with free weights. I don't even like machines that much. I use some, maybe a Smith machine is the one I use the most, and cables. But other than that, it's dumbbells and a bench and just going at it. But so I'm gonna be very real with what we need to do in order to achieve those results. We're not gonna be like playing, because I want you to see the results you can. And sometimes, like, I even did a recording from a video yesterday that I saw on Instagram. It was this lady that I've met a couple of times, and she's like filthy rich. And she was at the gym, and she looks great and with her clothes on. But I've seen her in a bikini, and it's like, it's not that look that I'm going for. I'm going for a full, lean, strong, like tight look. And she was grabbing a dumbbell. It was probably like a 15-pound dumbbell. And she grabbed the weights and she was doing the squats. And she was like this. I was like, this is what's wrong with most of us women. Like, this is not going to build muscle. And she was like this. And then she grabbed the same weight and she started doing triceps. And see, that's what I tell about the difference between this is not going to build muscle. This is just going to burn your calories. It's just going to burn your metabolism. Because how can I expect my legs to respond to a weight that's suitable for my upper body? My upper body is weaker. It's smaller muscles. My legs demand a lot more weight, and they can handle more weight. So that's like the whole thing that is gonna be like a education and like just really pushing you, like, this is what we could be doing. And of course there's levels, I don't expect you to go from 0 to 100 in a month, but my goal is to have you girls, everybody that's a part of my program, is like, I want all my ladies with abs and ass and strong legs and tight arms, because it is possible. I believe it. So I found it right here. I'm just gonna copy and paste here for you girls on the chat. And don't worry, because I'm gonna send all this information via email and on the group. But the membership is gonna be month to month. We have 3 tiers: month to month, a year membership, and a lifetime. This is so scary. You think about doing something for a lifetime, like, yes, because I figured I used to think like, I'm never gonna offer anything for a lifetime, because no, what's gonna happen? But I think I'm gonna be working out for the rest of my life. So yes, if I have to document everything that I do for the rest of my life, what a blessing it is. Yes, Wendy's sending everything here. So the copying right here, the investments for it. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. And of course, when I had this idea, was like, honestly, like 3 days ago, I couldn't sleep. So I sat down with my secretary, ChatGPT, my counselor, and we come up with it. So there you go. So memberships are going to be $128 for month to month, $12.28 a year, and $290.28 a lifetime. And the reason why there's so many 28 is because my birthday is the 28th of October. And I just like the number, and I figure, no, let me just put in there. I don't know why. So I figured for you ladies who are going to be the founding members, it's going to be, and I thought about, let me just keep the same price for them as I did for the challenge. It would be a $97 month to month, $797 if you want to lock in for a full year, and $14.97 if you want like access for the rest of your life to the membership. So I'm going to leave this open for you girls for this full week. And I think it's, and we need to start ASAP, because we're gonna start. I don't want to leave you girls without workouts. I know there's nothing on the app today because it's the official end, but I'm gonna start populating like a sample workout for us this week, and I'm gonna give you girls like a week to decide if you want to sign up. Of course, it's gonna be open for you to sign up. I'm still gonna debate how we're gonna do this. My assistant is coming back in town today, so I'm gonna have a meeting with her. We're gonna start sending the emails and the forms and all of that. But I'm gonna populate a workout for you girls this week as a sample of what it's gonna look like. And it's gonna be gym based. It's gonna be harder workouts. It's going to be a little bit harder, more like strict nutrition and cardio. So think about like, as I think all you girls are like, I want to keep doing, I want to step up my game. This is going to really step up your game. Like we did the warm up. We did, like how they say I did all you girls the love bombing. I can make jokes because I was married to a narcissist, so that's all healed. Thank goodness. Thank you, Jesus. But and now like I'm gonna get you girls some ass and abs, as my boyfriend says. And you guys have any of the questions. I think this is the realest lunch I've ever done. Realest soft lunch. Any girls would like to ask anything, any comments? And like I said, don't worry because I'm gonna send this all over via email or any feedback.
Thank you, Amanda. This is such a great idea. I really appreciate you offering this. And I think it's going to be a game changer because, I mean, it's so helpful to have access to your knowledge and to your experience in this way. Thank you for creating these multiple points of entry so that we can all find a way that works for us, you know? So I just want to say thank you so much. It's been so wonderful working with you, and I look forward to continuing in this process, in this new membership. Thank you for creating it.
Thank you, my love. I really appreciate that. I've always thought like, when I do my personal training sessions with my girls here in Miami, honestly, like it breaks my heart because it's so rich, the experience, the conversations that we have. Thank you, Gina. Thank you, Lori. It's like I cried so many times because like I want this for more women, and I'm just one person. Like I can't train only one, maybe three at a time, but like how can I expand this into more women? Because I honestly believe it's like it's a gift from God. And it's just because I'm so passionate about it and I love, that's why I transitioned my whole life to fitness, because I've thought, and I used to work corporate back in Brazil with the government, like, when am I my happiest? What would I do if even if I didn't get paid to it? It was always the gym. And so like having an outlet to share this with your girls, and I understand there's so many little nuances of like insights, and I learned so much about even like our own CK, is like it's gonna be my absolute pleasure to share this with you girls, like even deeper. Like I want like real, I don't want like a, because there's so many memberships out there now. I don't want something that you start doing it and you give up, because I'm not giving up on my butt, and I'm not gonna let you girls give up on yours. This is a lifetime commitment, and I'm up for it because, like I was telling a little earlier in the call, like I'm seeing, the briefness of life getting closer. And it's so funny when like in your 20s and your 30s, like nobody prepares us for aging and for understanding the things that happen with us, and like that we're gonna get old. And like being able to train older people, I see that like there's a better way of doing that. And I honestly think like facing it front and not trying to disguise or not trying to pretend it's not happening. Like, yeah, my skin now is not the same as it was when I was my 20, or even when I was my 20 or my 30s. So what can we do to change? How can we prevent this? How can we do this gracefully in a way that like our energy is like incredible, and like I'm not trying to look like I'm 20, but I'm just trying to look my best 40, my best 50, my best 60.
Well, if I can say one thing, I have worked with Amanda before, and I regret not putting my 100% into it because it was for my wedding. I look at my pictures, I'm like, oh man, I do look good, but I could have looked better. So, and I've had other people over the years that I've worked with for just a skinny minute, and I keep coming back to Amanda because not only is she a professional, she cares, but she educates. It's not just, hey, I suggest this one cookie cutter plan for everyone. She actually cares, and she tries to educate us on why this is best for you, or why you shouldn't do this, or why you should have some patience. So anyway, I'm all in, but thank you for what you do. And there's a difference between being someone that could get me upset here a little bit. There's a difference between someone who tries to tell you how to work out. I mean, there's 12-year-olds that you find on Instagram, and They try to tell you about working out, but when you see someone like Amanda who cares and who is a winner, who is a proven champion, that's the inspiration that I want in my life. So thank you for what you do and who you are and for being real. I
was
do have to
not
go to work
expecting
now.
that. You
I
coming
know. I wasn't
right here.
either. I'm at work. I shouldn't be doing this, but
Thank
that's
you
how
so
I
much,
feel.
my love. Oh my goodness. I envision a lot of that happening on inside the program because we're gonna get real. Ah, Jesus. Thank you, my love. That was so sweet of you.
Yeah.
I can't even say anything. Like it's God is good. That's all I can say. It's a blessing to be able to work with women like yourself and so many others. Like I honestly sometimes I look around my life and like God, I don't deserve all this, but you're so good to me. And it's a blessing, to be able to care for something that I know it's so hard on us because we're always so hard on ourselves and how we look. So to bring some lightness into this and some realness and some kindness, it's a blessing and a privilege. So thank you so much, Wendy, for those beautiful words. Oh my goodness. But yeah, we're gonna make some big changes here. And thank you so much for being so generous with your words. My goodness. It's just because I'm on my period. I'm a little soft. Thank you, my loves. This has been such a workout because you love your body, not because you hate it now. Absolutely. Absolutely. That is the change. The transformation needs to come from love, not from hatred. Because we love so much ourselves that we're going to change it, not because we hate it. I hate this hanging. No. I love myself, so I want the absolute best for myself. Just like you love your kids, just like you love your parents, just like you love your spouses, is that same love that needs to come from, because guess what? You're only going to be able to love other people as to the extent that you love yourself. So we need to look at ourselves like, if I was doing that to my daughter, to my son, to my spouse, to my mom and dad, to my siblings, is this the best I could give them? And I know we all could do better. And I trust me, this is a self-love journey too, because I hated my body for so many years. So this is a self-love of like being able to be bigger and look in the mirror like, it's okay. I'm not sloppy. I'm not, I'm not lazy. I'm not anything. I'm going through stuff, and the body goes through stuff, and understanding how to navigate through those seasons with grace, with kindness, with self-love, and like, oh, now I'm at peak, and then I'm gonna go down a little bit, and that's okay, and I'm gonna raise again, and hopefully we keep like ascending towards self-love, towards self-mastery, towards health, towards like a healthy body that shows inside and outside. Oh my goodness, my eyes are leaking. Ladies, if anybody has anything else to say it now. If not, we're gonna call it quits because I have a lot of work to do to hand this over to you. I so much appreciate your beautiful words and your participation and like just being so open to receiving this and to having honest conversations, because like I can pour here as much as I humanly could, but if you're not engaging, if you're not receiving, that transformation doesn't happen. Like I've been guilty of buying so many like programs and never doing them. I know we all do, and there's no point fingers of whoever does it, and it's just the human nature. But your search for it, your openness is what's causing the transformation. It's not me. You're doing it. So kudos to you. Thank you so much. Send you much, much, much love. Stay tuned for more information on the program coming, and let's make it happen. Love you. Mm-mm. God bless you, girls. Bye.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, ladies. Thank you.